Well, you got to grow up with a family that has a ton of dysfunction. And I'm 100% Sicilian and we're a miserable people.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.
As you know, and we've said it many times, we're so proud of Danielle for putting together tonight's Laughter Heals show at Gotham Comedy Club. Yes. Goomba Johnny, Anthony Rodia, Joe Gatto, and Tammy Pescatelli, who is here right now. Hi, Tammy. Thank you for coming in. Okay, we got to get some stuff out of the way.
Okay. Thanks for having me, by the way.
Well, thanks for being had.
Well, I've heard that before.
No, but you know what? We're so proud of Danielle for putting this together for such a great cause, for Happy Jack.
I'm so excited.
I've met you before, and I can't figure out where I've met you. It was either here, there, or everywhere. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, I have been around. I am an old broad. I have been around for a long time on a lot of different television shows that never really went anywhere. I mean, I was on Last Comic Standing when it was huge.
That was a
18
huge show.
million viewers. But that's 20 years ago. So
No, I've met you. I've talked to you. We've interviewed you. I swear to God we have.
No,
You were on Blue Bloods, right?
I did Blue Bloods, couple episodes of that, and a few things, but nothing. I've just been a stand-up for so long.
Are you still loving it?
I do love it. I hate the travel. I really hate the travel, which is hard. There's no way for me to do it. Like I'm a road dog. That's how I do it. That's all I can control is the stand-up and what comes out of my mouth, which half the time I can't control that either. So
well, that's the whole point.
I do my best.
That's why we're so happy you're here.
Yeah, I can't take the travel anymore, but I love the stand-up. I love it because I'm at a stage where I really know who I am, and I'm not going to try to force you to like me. If you like me, great. If you don't, this isn't like, it's not escape room comedy. You can get up and leave at any time. There's not going to be a magical sequence of jokes that allow you to leave. You can go. It's okay.
How do you end up doing what you are now doing? How did this start for you?
Well, you got to grow up with a family that has a ton of dysfunction. And I'm 100% Sicilian and we're a miserable people. We are literally so miserable. You can't even do anything positive because they're afraid someone's going to put what they call the maloik. The evil eye, right? Yeah, you can't. Don't say it. No, say that. No, say that. So then laughter only comes at funerals, which is so bizarre to me. As a kid, because the family gets together and they tell the stories and they laugh and then it comes over eating and things like that. But for the most part, we're not the most jovial people. You never go, oh, the Italians are so fun. It's always a culture of disrespect and stuff, but that's what's funny. You know what I mean? Oh, I cannot speak to her anymore because she no say hello when she came in. You know what I mean? Yeah.
When I first moved from the South to New York City, I was dating a guy from Staten Island. Mm-hmm. And it was always the respect thing. I said, how come you're not talking to your best friend, Tara, today? She disrespected me.
Yeah.
Said, what did she do? I can't talk about it. Okay, just what did she do? She didn't call me back when she told me she'd call back. Yeah. You're not talking to a friend. And then as soon as they would make up, he would find someone else. There always has to be one person that's disrespected you, and you're in a fight with them.
It's a circle. It literally is a circle of dysfunction. And that's when I finally made a little bit of money and got health insurance. I went to therapy to deprogram that. And then I married an Italian boy from Brooklyn, and it all crashed.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
All the work I did fell into a sinkhole.
Now, being from a crazy Sicilian family, did your mother or your grandmother have all those superstitions?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's some I can't even tell you on air because they're just so horrific. But yes, tons and tons of. First of all, she was crazy clean, so you couldn't wear your shoe long before Corona and everything else. Literally, this woman was bleaching people. She was if you came in our house, she basically bleached your skin just to come in and sit down at the table because she skeeved everybody. And then, there was always something that was going on. And boy, they were so nice to your face. But I think that's kind of where the comedy for me came from, because I would watch them. People would walk in the house and they'd be like, are you hungry? You want to eat? And they'd say, no, I'm good. And then they go, come on, I'm making you something. And no, I'm good. And then they would force you to eat. And then when you left, they go, every time he come here, he hungry. So they would, talk about you like a dog when you left.
I have a friend whose grandmother, they went out and bought a new car, so she put a feather in the freezer. I'm like,
What does that mean?
Yeah.
it has to do with some Sicilian thing.
really?
They're putting stuff in the freezer.
Or you put a new car, you put, like, if you ever want to rob somebody, like, I don't know why people are stealing radios still out of cars. If you find an Italian person with a new car, you look under their floor mats. There's all kinds of money from anybody.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, they put money under there. You can't give a wallet without $1 in it. If I give you a knife, you got to give me a penny back. There's all these stupid things.
I know, but you know what? If this wasn't going on with your crazy Sicilian background, you wouldn't be making us laugh tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what happened
It's
is
dysfunction, as you said.
It is. I mean, and it wasn't anything that was horrific. It's just ridiculous stuff. You know, it's a very male-oriented culture, and my brothers and I would physically fight at a certain point, and then they got stronger.
Physically.
Yeah, because that's how we did. You know what I mean? But that's also Gen X. Like, we didn't have things to do, so we literally fought for fun. We didn't have video games to watch. You play Punch Buggy or Two for Flinching, or you know what I mean? So they got stronger and faster, but they could never outrun my mouth.
Danielle, your family, you and your brother Roy used to
my
fight all the
gosh.
time.
My brother Roy used to I got more stitches because of my brother Roy.
Yeah.
From he hit me with a trophy once. He accidentally hit me with, I was roller skating. He tripped me with the jump rope. I wound up in the hospital getting stitches. But it wasn't it was just part of normal everyday
Growing up in the Bronx.
Yeah, growing up
She
in
went
the
to a
Bronx.
tough school where the girls would get into fights on the bus.
Oh.
They'd put lemon under their fingernails, so when they scratch you, it would like sting.
Oh, yeah. It was
Oh,
sting.
my
Yeah,
God.
yeah, yeah.
You think you had a crazy
forget it.
childhood?
Forget
Oh
it.
my God!
I
think
never did it, but I watched it be done.
really, I'd have showed up to school with a roll of quarters, and
Yeah.
just so when you hit somebody, and then give them a quarter to
Yeah.
call and cry.
Wait, did you ever do Nair bombs?
No.
This was
You,
especially...
where did you go? Shawshank? Where were you in school?
This was especially during Halloween,
God.
Before Halloween, they would put Nair in a sock and they would throw it at people, and so when it would hit your head, you'd lose your focus.
Danielle, you should have been nicer to people. I think you needed a friend like me to fight for you one time and say, what I had is, I'm not saying that I was but I had the ability to say such evil stuff to someone.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I have to use my powers for good. That's why I do all the charity work, because I can say some stuff to you that sits in the recesses of your minds, and then 3 years later you call me and you go, my brothers would just come in and go, do I really look like a safe fell on my head? I said that to you 2 years ago, and you've been harboring this entire time.
See what you do? You plant that seed.
Yeah.
Now, Amanda, growing up in the Gandhi family,
Yes.
did you have any of these shenanigans going on? Nice Indian family, not Italian.
Absolutely. No, we used to beat the hell out of each other all the time.
Really?
Yeah, and I always used to tell my sister, when I'm bigger than you one of these days, I'm going to beat your ass. And then when I finally could, I didn't want to.
Oh,
Such
see.
a bummer.
It passed.
Yeah.
I wanted to be Indian for Diwali, right? Is that how you pronounce it
Diwali.
correctly? Because you threw the color bombs at people.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
that's
I was,
holy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I'm messing it up, but
okay.
I thought that was the coolest thing, because we used to throw things at people all the time, but it was not to celebrate anything. So it was
It was a
this would be so
spoonful of
cool.
sauce. Hey, by the way, something about you guys you may not know about Tammy is she filled in for our friend Val doing a morning show in Los Angeles.
Oh.
Yeah.
And as she walked up to me earlier and she said, I've done it. I never want to do it again. No, thank you.
No,
what was so bad about doing radio?
Oh, no, not that. It's just when I would do the fill-ins anytime.
Right.
But when I 2.5 years, I woke up and did a morning show. Now, I also did it when I was 23, so I'd roll right from the nightclub to the Jock Lounge and sleep for a half hour.
Yeah.
Put on a shirt out of the prize closet, you know.
You know it.
So that let's be real, I didn't give it the best shot that I possibly could. But I just think that people are worried about social media and the mean things people say. You have no idea what it's like to get a phone call and go, "Hey, good morning," and they go, "You suck," and then hang up.
Now we get that on text message.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't even know.
That's Froggy up there on the screen. He's in Jacksonville. Say hi to Tammy Pescatelli.
Hey, Froggy.
Hey, Tammy.
Yeah, see, she's getting it right. Now, Froggy's been doing radio for a long time. Everything she said so far about doing radio, stealing shirts out of the prize closet.
It's so spot on. It's exactly the way it works.
Is someone's phone ringing or something? It's driving me insane.
No.
I hope not.
Yep.
See, it's Gandhi. Gandhi's
See?
I didn't
he's so
even hear
popular.
it. Gosh, that was
I
good.
didn't either.
I can feel it. It's tickling my scrotal area.
It's hey, that sounds. I don't have an HR, so that's great. Hey, I bet it's your sister calling to say about a time that you beat her up. That's probably what it
I
is.
never beat her up. I was always on the losing end. It was terrible.
So you talk about, of course, if you're going to be doing stand-up, you got to be on the road a lot, and that's
Yeah.
what you just don't care much about. So, where do you live?
Well, so when I was pregnant, I found out I was in Los Angeles. So we came, my husband, I told you, is a Brooklyn-born boy. We moved to Brooklyn, and we were one attached Brooklyn house away from my mother-in-law.
Oh boy,
And that
how'd that
worked
go
for
for
about
you?
a month and a half.
Well,
And so then now we live in what is called the Mecca of comedy, the Northwestern PA. Nothing's out there. Nothing. But my son he lives this normal life. Here's the problem for me. When I first started comedy, there were 20 female comics total, right? Then when I get pregnant, I'm a monologist. I wasn't making my money on a TV show or anything else. I had to go city to city. So I didn't really have friends to talk to about that. And a lot of them, their wives had their babies for them. So, and I just didn't know how I was going to make it happen. So I put them in this small town. We had a little TV show about that too, which was good. But then by the time we woke up out of that show, it was over. So I just have to really be at an airport,
Yeah. Nate's from Erie, Pennsylvania. And
That's where I live by.
wow.
Are you really, Nate? I live Meadville, 40 minutes away.
Yeah, Meadville. We go to Meadville to drive through Meadville.
Yeah.
There's not a lot in
It's
Meadville.
but listen, that's why it's great to raise a kid.
Exactly.
Because
They
there
have a
are
Walmart.
14,000 people, and I just did a show there, and I'm like, listen, if anything happens, all know where I live, because you can't hide it, because they bring their friends over and sit in my front yard and point to it. So let me know if my kid does something. It's amazing. It's like you have this. It's like I have a town full of nannies that tell me about what if he does.
They always know
anything.
what you're up to. Always. Yeah. Nate still has this eerie way about him.
Oh, yeah. I'm a fuddy-duddy is what he refers
Well, he uses phrases like fuddy-duddy.
I use the
Okay.
word rigmarole just about 5 minutes.
He's like having a great
Hullabaloo.
grandfather working with you. Yeah, he uses.
It's terrible. Well,
he
he's
used
probably-
the word. He used the word hullabaloo the other day. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
He's probably been old since he was little. He's young, but he's old, right?
Yeah, pretty much so.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah.
Also from Sicilian descent.
A Sicilian-born Brooklyn guy, and I got it. You're checking all the boxes, but I just wanted to know what is it with our obsession with wanting to always protect things so much that we cover our furniture in plastic and things like that?
Yeah, why is that?
Because we skeeve everybody. That's why. We skeeve everybody. You don't know who showers, who doesn't shower. Plus, they were always very protective of. They didn't expect to go get new furniture all the time. They didn't. Let's be honest. We really come from an immigrant culture that was that they spent a lot of money to get everybody here. It was one person at a time. My grandfather came, and it took time to bring all 10 of his kids over. Like, you know what I mean? Plus, I think he liked the break. But, I think that people, it's just one of those cultures that it's an amazing culture. I feel bad because it's getting lost because we have so many people who are, forgetting that and growing up and going away from it. But there are people like me who still tell my son, hey, just so you know, we don't slut shame in public anymore. But in this house, if a girl comes over here, mom's going to call her a word that rhymes with katana.
Oh, God. The Italians know what she's talking about.
Yep.
Another thing, a friend of mine, very, very, very Sicilian, there was one room in the house you're not allowed to go to, and that's the living room.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, why even have it?
I dated a guy who had a red rope for the living room, and the mother said, Christmas and New Year's Day. That's it.
For the museum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Everybody had the your grandmother because we were animals as kids because there was nothing. They didn't care what we did. If you think about it, they would I've been woken up out of bed to go outside and play. And then you weren't allowed back in the house until your father came home, whenever he was done
Really?
with work.
Whoa.
When you're a little kid, yeah. Get up, get out of the house, go play. and
Don't
then
mess
you
up mom's
come
house.
back. Yeah.
Right.
She was busy.
That's it.
Damn.
So many people are listening right now going, oh, my God, that's my family.
Yeah.
That is my dysfunctional family.
Yeah, well, and my mother-in-law and I were really close now, but it took a long time to get there. Let me tell you that. Now she's the type that'll wake you up in the middle of the night to make the bed. So like that's, it took a long time, but we're in a really good place.
So tonight's the night. If you're just turning us on, Tammy Pescatelli is here. She's a part of Danielle's Laughter Heals show tonight at Gotham Comedy Club. Goomba Johnny, Anthony Rodia, Joe Gatto. Do you know these guys?
Yes, I don't know Joe very well.
Great
only
guy.
Through,
You're gonna love him.
only through his reputation, but Goomba Johnny I've been friends with for a long time.
Right.
And then I met Anthony through Goomba. So I mean, and the other thing is you can't be. I was one of the first Italian female monologists stand up. I mean, of course, you can say Rosemary Clooney, you can say all that stuff, but like I was one of the first Italian female stand ups. So I am told every time a new Italian gets in this business. People will go, hey, have you heard this one? You know this one?
Right.
You know what I mean?
All the Italians know each other. Isn't that what it is?
It is the truth. But being fair, that when I was out in L.A., I mean, literally, that was my group at the Comedy Store. Sebastian Maniscalco, Brett Ernst, John Campanero. You know what I mean?
All funny guys.
Luca Polanca, my husband. Like, so that's how.
Oh, your husband's even a comedian.
Yeah. Well,
Oh
I
my
did.
God, what's that house like?
Oh, he's ridiculously funny. Thank God he's a comedian because otherwise I wouldn't be able to tell my material. Like, I mean,
Right.
He's 90% of it, to be honest with you. But he's also a tax write-off, so.
God. Well, this is what we love about that, I guess, type of comedy is bringing your home stories to the stage. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's because it's so relatable
Yep.
to so many people, and especially people from different cultures. For instance, like Gandhi.
Oh, yeah.
Like someone will tell a joke about their Italian heritage and their families coming over. You're like, well, I'm Indian, and our family did the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When you were talking about getting woken up to go outside and play all the time, like, get out of the house. Why are you here? You're rotting. Get out of here.
Yeah.
And if you had fun on a Monday, you are not allowed to have fun on a Tuesday because that's just too much.
Yeah, it's too much, too much mirth.
Moderate.
I don't know what culture is full of joy, but that's what I'd like to be part of. I don't even know.
Anthony did a joke the other day. I hope if he may do it tonight, but he was talking about how they would teach people to swim in his house, and they would just go, "I'm going to teach you to swim," and they just throw
You
in.
off the boat.
Yeah, just
But
go.
if you don't learn, you're going to drown. He's like yelling at him in the water. But that's what happened in the culture. Yeah.
Well, I remember I was just talking about this the other day. It's not even a joke. I remember that my brothers had chicken pox. My mother made me hug and kiss them
Yes,
so I
chickenpox
would
party.
get it.
Oh, yeah.
So we could all get it at the
Yes.
same time.
Yeah.
If you did that to your kids now, they'd come take them from
Yeah.
you.
They used to have chickenpox parties
They had
when I was
chickenpox
a kid.
parties,
And
yeah.
your parents would take you over to your
They
friend's
come over,
house.
have some
and you'd all
pasta,
play.
have some chicken cutlets,
Yeah,
and get the
for sure.
kids
So you
infected.
could get it all at the same time.
Exactly.
See, I'm from a Scottish background. There's nothing funny about us. We have no funny at all.
My father was a big man and he played some semi-pro and pro football, and he taught American football to Scottish grown men.
How'd that work out?
Well, it worked out fine for him, but I was 16 years old in Scotland. I wanted a beach and a mall. I didn't want haggis and a castle. You know what I mean? I was like,
Well, that's what you got.
fun for me, but hey, by the way, have they spotted that princess broad lately?
Hopefully you'll have an update
That's
for us
not
tonight
real.
at Gotham.
All I got to do is I got a couple friends that could find. I mean, just have to tell her. You want to find her? Just tell a couple of my friends that she's cheating with their husbands.
Yep.
They will lock her down.
They'll have location coordinates.
Oh, Tammy, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me. I've been a big fan for a long
Oh,
time.
thank you. But as we are now a huge
Yes.
fan of Tammy Pescatelli. By the way, the word is putana.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you could say it. so-
Yeah.
I was making words up in my head.
People are texting in like, what's the word putana rhyme with? I'll just tell you right now. It's all good. As in putanesca.
That's word of the day. When the next time you have one of those call-ins to win something, the word of the day.
Putana.
Thank you so much, Tammy. And what an honor to have you on stage with our other friends, Goomba and Anthony and Joe. And, of course, Danielle hosting tonight. You're hosting.
Well, I will be.
Are you saying that? Do you have any stand-up prepared?
No, I am
Damn.
kicking it off and introducing Goomba, who will be hosting the show tonight.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, you should never ask us. Everyone
No.
said you should come. You'll be so funny. No.
Although I will say
No.
this, I've been writing for a lot of people lately, and we could write you a couple jokes easy, Danielle.
Oh, all right.
But you, Elvis, I want to do your one. I want to turn your book into a one-man show for you.
Oh.
Too late.
Oh, is it already done?
Well, I can have 2 one-man shows. I guess that's.
Oh.
You're gonna do it already? Oh, good. Do it.
nice.
No, no.
Do it.
You
I'll
read-
help you. I'll help you punch it up. How about that?
So
How about that?
So Tammy said she read the book. I'm like, really? I'm always taken aback. I'm like, really? You know stuff about me that a lot of people don't know.
I love the stories when people start because they just get it in their head. Like, you know what it was like for me to say, I want to be a comedian? No one in my family, like, you know.
Right. They looked at you like, what?
You know what was only fun for them? They took bets on how long it would last. So that's you know what I mean? So I love the story of you just get it in your head. And I love to see how that happens, you know, because it's never, people think it's easy. Yes, there are opportunities, but you got to work so hard to capitulate on those opportunities. So I was really excited to read
Thank
that
you.
book.
Thank you
yeah,
so much.
Yeah.
And what we're going to love watching tonight, and I can already tell, is the storytelling on stage is what's so funny. And thanks for sharing all of your stories with us. This is going to be a great night.
I'll see you again soon.
All right, Tammy Pescatelli. Well, do another show. Invite Tammy back.
I will, of course.
All right. Thank you for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.